we're in the midst of a title fight. Max Verstappen's closing in on the two McLaren drivers, and you're being sent out now to help set the car up ahead of the fifth last race of the season. Do you feel like added responsibility with that? Is it like kind of pressure on you, or is it a great sign of trust from the team that you get this role right now?
I think it's a great place to be, because it's a very privileged place to be, and even more so for Lando and Oscar that they're fighting a Formula One championship, But yeah, my goal and my job here is to help them win this weekend, and that's what I want to do for them.
And every time you get an opportunity like this to drive either a TPC car or the current car during an FP1, how much do you feel you make steps as a driver, you develop, not just in terms of your skills in F1 machinery, but just overall?
You find out what works for you, I'll say. So by exploring different approaches and by exploring different cars and different tracks and stuff like that, or the way that certain engineers work or want to work, you really start like hitting it right on the head of exactly what works for you in certain scenarios. So not necessarily do you always take away things from it, but when it's just a continuous kind of proof of, hey, this has always worked for you, it simplifies your life as you go on in your career. It doesn't matter if you're in IndyCar, if you go to WEC, or you go to IMSA, or you go to Formula One. You really get to know yourself even more, and because we're speaking tenths, man, hundredths of a second. When you know what you like and what you need from the race car, that is going to beat any engineer telling you what to do, and I stand by that.
Do you also find, though, that the engineers are maybe then trusting you more the more time you spend in F1 machinery and with these guys and girls here at the track for McLaren?
I think my position is it's a bit different because, I've been in IndyCar for 6 years. I'm not a rookie. I know I'm doing a rookie session, but I'm definitely not a rookie driver. And a lot of these TPCs are primarily made for guys that are kind of just coming into it, or I guess rookies in Formula One, which I know I am a rookie in Formula One, but not because I've done only one session. I've done a few already where I know what it feels like and what it should feel like. Feels like home, or like a second home in a way. So whenever you're more experienced and someone wants to treat you like a rookie, it's more overwhelming than actually helpful. So for me, it's actually been really nice to have those TPC tests to, first of all, know and understand what I need from a Formula One car, because it's very different to what I need from an Indy car, but also expect that from the engineers. Tell them what I want, because you can't just expect somebody to know what you need. So I think I've gotten much better in being very vocal of what I need, and I've seen it just give me the results that I need and what I want, because it takes time, man. You'd be shocked. It just doesn't take one test. It takes a lot of trial and error, and then you really just get into your kind of spot, and then you really start enjoying it even more.
There's a rival of yours that's just left the IndyCar series to come and try and chase a dream in Formula One. What do you make of Colton's move to Formula 2?
He's very talented. He's been a great competitor in IndyCar, and I wish him the best. I think I'd be shocked to not see him in a Formula One in 2027. I don't think he'd be doing this switch if that wasn't on the table for him. So I'm super excited for him, and I really want him to do well, because he's going to be our IndyCar representation. So I think he doesn't just have himself on board. I think he's definitely got a lot of guys that are pushing for him to do well, outside of just being in Formula 2 next year. We want him to make it to Formula 1, and we want him to do well.
But you know how tough it is even just to jump in an F2 car, don't you? Against guys that have been on that ladder, because you had to go at the Red Bull Ring.
The task is tall. The tires are very different. The car is much worse than an Indy car, so he definitely is. He's definitely downgrading in terms of car capabilities and car feeling. So, like I said, I'd be shocked to know that he's doing this just to do it. I definitely know well, I don't know, but I really hope this is the case, that he's doing it because he has a Formula One seat, because otherwise he will really miss IndyCar. I know he will.
Yeah, I spoke to him in the week, actually, that we had on the show in midweek, and he was saying that his plan is 1 year of F2, get into F1. Doesn't want to do multiple years of it, but we'll have to see how that pans out. For you next year, it's all about going after an IndyCar Series title and the Indy 500, I imagine. How well prepared do you think McLaren now is in IndyCar to do that? Because you've been part of the whole team's development for a long time now.
It's turned into a standard now, hasn't it? And that's a good thing. It's a very good thing, and you see it here in Formula One, where they've obviously grown something in the last 5, 6, 7 years in such big steps, and a little bit of how kind of we've been doing it in IndyCar, especially recently. But it's a phenomenal place to be in. Like, it really is. I mean, that's why we do this. We do this to have these expectations where they are, because otherwise there's too much energy that goes into it to not have that. But I'm definitely going for everything in the 500, going for the championship. We've just about had every single position worth it in both the 500 and the championship. I think they both have been very reminiscing of each other, to be fair. I mean, the championship, what was it? 4th, 3rd, 7th, 5th, 4th, 2nd, and then the 500 was 6th, 4th, 2nd, crash 5 laps to win, 2nd, 3rd. So I feel like they're both very, very similar, and it makes us hungry, man. It makes us hungry, and we love not to put expectations on ourselves, but the reality is that we've put ourselves in a position that there's only one left, and that is first on both of them. So I'm ready for it. I know the team is as well. I know they're going to give me the tools to be able to fight for it. And we just have to keep pushing. We have to keep pushing. And I think it's a very special place to be in where I am right now, because I have an opportunity to win the 500. I have an opportunity to win the IndyCar Championship. And then you never know if I have a chance to tackle a challenge in Formula One. And, if it's here in McLaren, with a car that's willing to win a world championship, like that is so much more than I could have ever imagined for my career. So I think being patient has paid off for me, and I'm exactly where I need to be right now.
Well, I feel like this interview has become a bit of a tradition. Before FP1, here in Mexico City, and every time it feels like you're getting a step closer. So fingers crossed we do this same time next year, and you've got a ring and you've got a title.
Imagine? Oof. That would be wonderful. Thank you.